Hi, we're back out in the garage once again with the Honda NT700V motorcycle. And if you're like me, you might find yourself interested in swapping out the windshield for a different aftermarket brand. Whether it's just to gain a little added height, maybe change it to a tinted model, see if you can cut down a little bit of wind noise. Regardless of what your direction is, you'll find out very quickly that there's really limited options when it comes down to putting a windshield on this bike so far. C. Bailey is probably the leading manufacturer of aftermarket windshields for this bike, and the C. Bailey people offer it in a variety of tints, a variety of different heights, and no matter which height you pick, the windshield is slightly wider too. I did a little investigating on the web just before I went ahead and ordered one, and saw some conflicting stories of people saying, well, you know, the Honda it doesn't fit on the Honda motorcycle if you have the Honda line wind deflector kit on, or some folks said it stiffens up the mechanism a little bit. So I called C. Bailey to ask him some of these questions before I went ahead and made my purchase. And on both topics, the movement topic, they said that they had no complaints about it. They had no returns regarding such a thing, but they were actually kind of concerned, a little interested in what was going on there. As far as whether the windshield would fit on a motorcycle equipped with the Honda line wind deflector kit or not, they said their test bike at the time they designed the windshield did not have that kit on it. And since that kit does, by the way, relocate the mirrors ever so slightly, they said they really didn't know whether the edges of the windshield would hit the mirrors. The stock Honda windshield with the Honda deflector kit with the relocated mirrors comes very, very close. We're talking maybe 1/4 of an inch of clearance at each edge. And in the literature, with theirs saying that it was slightly wider, I'm kind of worried about the fact that it might actually bump. So, C. Bailey people were absolutely wonderful to work with. Since there was unanswered questions about these issues, they decided to send me a demonstrator windshield to try it on the bike with the wind deflector kit, with the mirrors, with a perfectly functionable mechanism, to see if we can get down to the bottom of these topics accurately. So we're going to do that. We're going to break the video down into a couple parts. One, just give you some tips and tricks about taking the old one off, proving that the mechanism and everything works well with the original windshield on the bike, and show you the clearances. And then we'll compare the two in the second video between the C. Bailey and the Honda side by side, so you can kind of see the cut differences between the two. And then we'll put the C. Bailey on the motorcycle and see what happens once we get it all installed properly. So let's get to it. We'll put the bike outside in the sunshine so you can see it a little bit better, enjoy the day, and we'll move on with the video. Okay, first off, the motorcycle that we're using here, this specimen's brand new. It's never so much have been dropped. Everything is fully functional. And we're going to go over the movement of the windshield first. Right now, it's in its second position up. There's 5 positions altogether for this mechanism. If you push the windshield all the way down, this is the first position. Honda suggests you grab it by each corner and pull the windshield up to smoothly operate its movement up and down. You can hear it ratcheting or clicking into all 5 positions. We'll go through the 5 positions very briefly. First position, all the way down. Second position. Third position. Fourth position. And fifth position. The windshield moves a little snugly but smoothly between each position. Once it ratchets into its position, it does hold very, very well. You can do it from either side of the motorcycle. I think Honda would prefer that you actually get off to make the changes. Also, too, I've heard some riders say they do what they call the smackdown. From the other side, if they're riding and the windshield's fully up and it's getting a little warm, you can literally just hit it and just push it down while you're riding. Maybe not suggested, but it can be done. Don't forget there's tension sliders underneath here, and that's how the mechanism works. Periodically maybe you should grease it, but you don't want to wear it out, that's for sure, because you'll be replacing them. Let's put it all the way down and we'll check these clearances in the corners. Okay, very briefly, as you can see, this unit has the wind deflector kit installed. You have to remove the mirrors. After the kit is installed, the mirrors reattach, and basically what it'll do is it raises the mirror bases up about maybe 1/4 of an inch, or at least as thick as this rubber is, or the wind deflector. If you're interested in the specifics about these wind deflectors, we have that on another video as well if you want to take a peek at it. But overall, you can see the windshield comes close, but it doesn't touch. I'm guessing there's probably about 1/4 of an inch of a gap. I can actually put my finger between the two surfaces here. So with the windshield in its full down position, there is a little clearance here, not a lot, but enough to get the job done. As a matter of fact, here we go, it's a good angle. Matter of fact, the kit for the wind deflectors comes with a little stick-on thin film that can be put on the insides of these mirror bases, so in case vibration or the wind really hit this shield hard, it wouldn't scratch your mirrors. I didn't put them on because I really didn't see how that could possibly happen, and I rarely leave it in the lowest position. I'm a little bit of a first click up guy or all the way up. One of those two are my favorite positions, so I didn't bother, but it does come with the kit. Okay, if you have the factory service manual for the bike, in the chapter under removal of the windshield, you'll notice that it's pretty much just a couple sentences that basically tell you to remove the windshield. Just as a few little tips here, we'll get a little bit into that right now. These are basically just some soft rubber covers. If you look on the very inside of the cover, you'll see a little gap right here. Looks like something you'd want to stick a flat blade screwdriver under and pry at, which you don't want to do because you'll end up scratching your windshield. But if you grab it with your thumb and maybe just get your fingernail underneath the edge of it, you'll see that it allows the rubber to lift up very easily. Once you do that, you can literally just get these guys off. And what these are, they're just a soft pliable rubber cover, and there's a little bit of a lip all the way around these edges here, and there's a corresponding lip on the top cap as well, and it just kind of loops over the edge of it and just kind of holds the thing in place. So they're very easy to get off, and you just want to safely and comfortably just peel it off, which exposes the plastic top caps and the 4 5mm hex bolts. Okay, before we remove the windshield, if you have a helper, you might want to use an extra pair of hands to hold these brackets in place and to support the windshield before you remove it. That way you don't scratch anything. I don't have that luxury today. I'm here by myself. So before I remove anything, you'll notice I put some masking tape across these brackets. The reason I did that is if you take one bolt out and then when you go to loosen the other, this bracket has a tendency to spin around on you, which would scratch the top side of your windshield. You definitely want to try to avoid that. So I use masking tape this way here. When you remove these bolts from the bracket will stay in place and won't spin around on you and scratch the surface of the windshield. Okay, very quickly before we fully remove the windshield, I do want to note that the windshield on its own sits nice and flush and flat with its mounting perches. It's an injected molded plastic and it's hard to see, but Honda has like a little bit of a recessed area here where they changed the contour just in the mounting bracket area, so it does sit flush with its slide rail. Now before fully removing the remaining bracket, definitely want to support the windshield, keep a little upward pull on it. That way the windshield doesn't slip, get away from you, and scratch the underside against the mounting brackets. And carefully remove it, and that's all there is to it. Okay, before reinstalling the C. Bailey windshield, we do want to illustrate that these brackets move very easily without the windshield on. So there's no binding, no resistance that's abnormal to the mechanism itself.